Hello everyone, Malphite here, and today I want to talk about the CAEDREL's team, Los Ratones, which will be formed and will start playing next season, 2025. First of all, I want to say this is not the official logo. Nothing has been confirmed so far. I just saw it on Reddit and I kind of liked it, so I'm gonna use it as my intro slide. So yeah, go check out CAEDREL's Reddit, the Pedro P posts, for more interesting logo ideas. Anyways, so we are gonna work with what we know, and I'm going to try to build this roster and speculate on what is possible. I'm going to start with the positions that I'm most confident about, and then we are going to go into the areas that I'm least confident about. So we're beginning with Nemesis. I think this is the most obvious one. This is kind of like the open secret. We know that Nemesis is going to be playing for the CAEDREL's team. So even before I explain more, I would like to emphasize this, emphasize the fact that CAEDREL has a lot of viewers. He's the biggest streamer when it comes to League of Legends. He has been hitting some crazy numbers, crazy records during Worlds. Personally, I'm a huge fan. I mean, who isn't, right? In the League scene. And so he's building a team that is going to be also a big content piece, right? So his team that people can watch. And when he streams anything, he co-streams LEC. He has a bunch of tens of thousands, like 50K. For big games like 100K views, if not more. Right now he's even bigger, so maybe even more. And so players that are going to be part of his team are going to be very well known. So this is not something that he can only afford bad players or whatnot. Being on this team, being on Los Ratones, is actually better than being on like a bottom LEC team. Right, so I guess unless you're going to like G2 or maybe like, I don't know how much players value Fnatic, Mad Lions, or it's called Koi now, and KC, maybe BDS, I don't know. But being on this team is probably very good for your brand. So if you're a streamer, if you're a good player, this is like a dream come true for you, right? Because obviously so many people are going to be watching your stream. You will be interacting with CAEDREL, interacting with his viewers. So this is very beneficial for you. And also, if you're someone like Nemesis, you can still showcase how well you can do in pro play, even though on a bit of a lower level. But still, you can showcase how good you are and have so many eyes on you. And you are still allowed to stream alongside it and have your whole livelihood. So this is actually a huge, huge opportunity for all of these players. So if you're wondering why would Nemesis want to join a minor league team, this is why. This is exactly why. He can still stream. So within the contract, actually, I don't know what kind of contracts there are going to be and whatnot, because we do not know much, but he will be still allowed to stream and he can showcase his play. And, this is exactly something that a player like Nemesis probably wants. So Midlane, I would say 100% we know this, right? We know that Nemesis is going here. He hasn't really been rumored about going to other teams except for like MDK/Koi. And so we pretty much can lock Nemesis. One more thing that I wanted to mention. I'm making this roster speculation/leak /video, right, with the assumption that this is not going to be there's not going to be some restriction about how many like imports can be playing. Some leagues have restrictions. I do not know what the exact restrictions are, but for example in NLC I think you need a certain number of players from like Nordic or countries or something within Europe. I do not know exactly, but basically I'm making a free restriction. So obviously all players are European, but I'm kind of assuming that there's no specific need that they need to be like UK, Nordic or something. like in the NLC or whatever. So I do not know what minor league, but I'm basically building a minor league team. And also another thing, the goal of this team, obviously, besides making a very, very cool content and very cool team, assembling a very cool team to watch, it's also to win EU Masters. So also we need to keep in mind that this team should be capable of that. And Nemesis is a very good start. I think he's the second best player in the mid lane position in the EMEA region, let's say, behind Caps. Some player would say he's washed, but I do believe that he is still very, very good. So I'm really looking forward to what he can show us. Second player that I'm most certain about is Crowny. So we know Crowny and Nemesis had a pretty good relationship, and I think when you're building teams, you first and foremost want to put good players, but even more importantly, players that want to play together. And I think Nemesis and Crowny already play together in some minor tournaments and fun tournaments and games and whatnot. And so I think, you see, he also was a streamer for Genji, just like Nemesis was, just for a little bit. And so I think, they're both Slovenian as well. So I think that's a big part of it. Probably Nemesis, Crowny, Mickey, all Slovenian players, all very good players in their respective roles, which is surprising given how Slovenia is such a small country. But now I'm already rambling. So Crowny, if Nemesis is like 100%, Crowny is also basically 100%. I do not have any other player in mind for this position, given that he's also a streamer. He's also trying to be a content creator / he appears on other people's content and talks about the controversial stuff within the league, and kind of I would say he's on the same page ideology wise than, let's say, Nemesis, and tries to focus on correct building of items and so on and so on. And I think once you have a similar understanding of the game, this can also help you to do better. So vibes, knowing each other and similar understanding, and I think this is everything that these players have. And so these are the two players that I think are most likely going to be in the team. Now, I have a third player that it's not 100% anymore. I would say it's like 75-80%. And that is the support. And so it's Trimby. And we know that Trimby, he was really good in Rogue. Then the Rogue changed to Koi. And, that wasn't a very good year. But then he joined Fnatic. Fnatic started doing very well. He joined Heretics. He replaced Kaiser. And although they weren't very good, the team already started doing better. And so any team he joins somehow starts to do better. So I think he's a very, very solid support. He has good basics. And he has also a very similar understanding. I'm not going to say like the same understanding, but very similar understanding of the game as Nemesis and Crowny. And we know he also shares kind of the similar views of LS. He picked like Nasu's support, and he also discusses stuff like this and appears on some streams such as Crowny and so on, and also with Crowny. And they talk, and that's a very important prerequisite. And also he's a streamer, right? And so it's probably beneficial for him to be streaming alongside being in this team. And also a player that probably Nemesis and Crowny might want to play with. That being said, we've seen some leaks about some supports for LEC teams. I think the only teams without support confirmed right now are Rogue. Possibly Trimby could be going to Rogue, but there are some issues about budget cuts and whatnot. Then we have GX and we have SK, I think, are the only teams without confirmed supports. But neither of the other teams that actually had released their support, confirmed their supports players, No one really mentioned anything about Trimby. I didn't hear any news about Trimby, and like no news about teams considering him and so on, which is strange, given the stage of the off season in the LEC. And so this even makes me more confident that Trimby will be the support for this team. But there are still some reasons why I'm not 100% sure on this, and that's mainly related to the jungle situation, which I'm going to explain in a second. But for now, I'm going to show you a situation here. So this is a clip from CAEDREL stream. CAEDREL reacts to latest roster rumors and other LOL news. And here is LEC European players not signed for 2025. Someone made a post, very recent small post, and CAEDREL clicked on it and looked at it. And then someone from the chat asks, can you build your team out of these players? And CAEDREL, I would play the video, but now I realize that I don't have it on my headphones, so it would, the audio issue would be bad, so I cannot really play it, but I can tell you what happens. So CAEDREL goes briefly through the players and then says, yeah, there are some players here that are on my team. Actually, there's 4 players, and we're missing 1 role. So he could be trolling for content, for just to send us the wrong way and not leak it or whatever. But he said it pretty casually. And so Trimby is here, Crowny is here, and Nemesis is not here. But maybe he assumed, it's the longest column with many names, so maybe he assumed Nemesis is here. But he says, yeah, there are 4 players and you're missing 1 role. So he could be talking about missing Nemesis in the mid lane. But that would mean the top and jungle are both confirmed. Well, at least they're narrowed down to the players in these columns. But if he assumed Nemesis is here, somewhere included, and he just glanced over it or something, that it still means that if that's true, assuming it's true, we have at least top or jungle confirmed. And so now we're going into the realm where I'm kinda, let's say, 50% focused. I'm saying 50% because it could be right, could be wrong, just to kind of cover my bases. But here's a big speculation. Jankos. So Jankos is a big streamer, and it's important for him. We know that even in Team Heretics, he wanted his contract to allow him to stream while he's playing, because that's kind of, I think, big part of his livelihood now. He's a content creator, he's a streamer, a very big name in the scene. And so I think being on this team, getting all the attention on his brand, and showcasing that he's still very, very good, potentially winning, let's say, EU Masters, and showing he's not that washed, right? He's not that old and so on, would be a huge, huge thing for Jankos. And so, what looks better? A team with Nemesis, Crowny, or there's still GX with Jackies and Noah. There's still some possibilities with Rogue. But other than that, there's not much available for Jankos, and so I think this roster might be possibly the best for him. And he's going to be out of contract very, very soon. So maybe that's when we are going to get it announced. So other possibilities include Closer, because he was also on that list of players, but I think this is less likely. So other than Closer, we could potentially get Agurin. This is just me kind of trying, covering my bases. Another streamer, but has his org and so on, the NNO. And then I don't know who else. Oops. Well, okay. Let's go to the top lane, which is the role I'm most or least sure about. But I'm basically going to cover all my bases here in the top lane very quickly. So we have Odo Amne. We know he's a streamer, a very good weak side player, and just very solid player that you can put in the top lane and he's gonna do his job. A similar player, Wunder. I think Wunder is still very, very good. We also did not hear anything about him in the offseason, even though he's still very, very good player. And he's also very good weak side, right? Maybe even better than Odo. He's not going to lose you the game. And he can just do his job, provide for his team. But he's not really like a huge on streaming and so on, so I don't know how that would work. But I'm just briefly going to run through, because I'm not really sure, about the top lane as I'm about the other positions. Also, I forgot to mention that Jankos, I'm not sure if he still wants to play, let's say, with Trimby or with Wunder, now that they have been on the same team. But, being under different management, being a streamer team, being in minor league, being, with also different mid laner, different AD carry, and so on. It's completely different situation, different vibes, different environment altogether. So maybe it's not that important for him. But that's why I wasn't sure 100% on Trimby, and also I'm not 100% sure on Jankos. And then we have Wunder, right? I mentioned Odo, both very good weak side players. But in case maybe these are not on the list, I'm going to cover my bases. The Baus, we heard some rumors, he's a huge streamer, but maybe potentially he would rather be streaming these games rather than playing them himself. He's still a very, very good player. I think some people kind of sleep on him, but also, yeah, his play style is a bit strange, and I'm not sure if that's exactly that would fit well with like trying to win the EU Masters. But I mean, I wouldn't hate it. But yeah, maybe I prefer him as a streamer rather than player. But that's not to say he's bad or anything. And just a bit more covering of my bases. Ibo, or Ibo, I'm not sure how to actually pronounce it, a Polish top laner. He's been playing with Nemesis, also Crowny, quite a bit in like tournaments and whatnot. He's also still not signed for a new team. He's been playing in a minor league. And so it seems the vibes are fine, and also like relationship, and probably they would be fine with playing with him. I'm not really sure who to put in the top lane. It just seems like you just need to put someone who can be a good weak side player, and then you can just take it from there. So I personally would like to see Wunder the most. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish covering my bases, so I kind of have all the players mentioned here. So Adam, I think pretty unlikely, but still a good player without a team. But also, some attitude issues and whatnot. So I would say not the best fit for this team, but still, just for the little chance, I'm going to mention him. Still without a team. And then finally, Finn. We know CAEDREL still thinks he's good. I still think he's pretty solid. Definitely not the top of the top, but I don't think it really I don't think the top lane situation in Europe is so good that you would need like a carry, the Shy, Bin, Zeus kind of player. If you're aiming to win EU Masters, you need like someone who will not lose the top lane rather than someone who will just destroy everyone. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about this. So I ran through all the players possible. I'm most sure about the bot side along with mid lane. So Nemesis, Crownshot, Trimby. And then in jungle, I would like to see Jankos the most, but again, I'm not sure about the Jankos, Trimby, Wunder, if they still want to play together and how is their relationship. But they're all Polish and so on, so we could have like Polish, Slovenian kind of team of let's say quote unquote washed up players. And in the top lane, I would like to see Wunder the most, but I went through all these players to kind of cover the bases. And so let me know in the comments. I tried to get this video out as soon as possible to possibly have some speculations, have some leaks and whatnot, and try to get the conversation going. So let me know if you would like this team. Let me know what you think. If there's anything you disagree with or agree with, or some other of your speculations, and yeah, just put everything in the comments. I'm gonna read it all and reply. Hit the like and please subscribe. I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.